Welcome everybody back to Colorbar. Betsy Davis, Chief Marketing Officer of Sandy Alexander, here with Kim.
Well, hello, Betsy. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's been a few weeks. I'm excited for today's episode.
Well, we have a special guest.
We do have a special guest. Shall I get our special guest?
Yes.
Come here. Come here, Fleet. Come on.
Fleetwood.
Hi, Fleetwood. This is our special guest, Fleetwood.
Oh my goodness.
He's joining us today as we kind of talk all things pets as regarding to brand marketing and consumers and how we're interacting in this new market space.
I know it. So we're excited because you've talked about Fleetwood.
Yes.
And all the other 4 Airedales
Yes.
in the family. So we've talked about having a guest appearance from Fleetwood. And to talk all things marketing now in relation to the pet space.
Which is huge.
Well, we were talking about it this morning. The crazy thing is if we think about the industries that we support at Sandy, pets touch almost every single one of them.
I'm not sure which one it doesn't touch, to tell you the truth, if you go through the
maybe
list.
Architectural might be the one, but...
Well, he's going to want a doghouse. He's going to want a little architectural digest out back, so I would keep them on the list.
Tiny home.
A tiny
home. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it this morning. So travel.
Absolutely.
Obviously retail. Healthcare.
Which is huge.
We're going to talk a little bit about that. And I don't know. I'm sure beauty.
Beauty's a big thing.
Got to
Spa.
get the spa day and the paw day in. So yeah,
Absolutely.
So it's crazy. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about, we've also talked about Gen Alpha and Gen Z on some of our recent podcasts.
Yes.
And huge opportunity
in that
demographic. Generation. Yep. So lots to talk about.
It is lots to talk about.
Today.
It's really, even when we were talking this morning and getting ready for this, it's amazing how, how the pet industry has just exploded. Definitely over the past 10 to 15 years, and just how it continually grows and evolves. Like to your point, it touches every industry that we do business with. And you probably wouldn't have thought that several years ago, not to the extent we are now. So what we're seeing in our 2-legged brand environment,
yes,
we are seeing that completely spill over into our 4-legged brand environment. Not trying to eliminate any other critters. All critters are good critters, but just as far as trends and even how we market to them and topics that are coming up and how we're using those technologies. I mean, obviously, we've talked a lot about our Glimpse event and hyper-personalization. And, to think that that is a huge topic of conversation on how we market to this, to pet owners. I mean, it's amazing. And where they're taking that technology.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about this too, is that I feel like the conversations we've had on the last few episodes have come full circle as we've researched and talked about this, that everything from hyper-personalization to experiential and store to, again, generational marketing, the omni-channel approach and all of that.
And the importance of the omni-channel approach and how it actually drives more ROI than something that is less dimensional, so to speak. So, I mean, it's just amazing.
I mean, I remember growing up, our dogs was like, are they inside or not?
Did we feed them though? Just kidding.
Do they have water? And where is she? And now they are truly an extension of our family and extension of our brands.
Yes.
Too. Another thing that came up and we'll talk a little bit about is the TikTok petfluencer is now a term that's being used, is that there's now petfluencers. And so, yeah, they're a part of us.
They're a part of us. They're definitely a part of us. Definitely how they've changed within like the family unit. Like you said, from like when we grew up to now. I mean, I've traveled with my guys. They've been all over this country. They've even gone to the Lincoln Memorial. I thought my kids should be educated.
You got smarter. I mean, you just took Fleetwood. You did kind of a little field trip in preparation for today.
We did. He's a shopper.
Good. So he fits right in with us.
Fits right in. He's a shopper. But it was really interesting because one of the trends that we've been talking about is omni-channel and how that works, and really the power of combining your digital messaging along with traditional direct mail. The the power of personalization in this market space, and really with the goal, obviously, to drive revenue, but really to drive the in-store experience.
Yes.
We as brand people want you to come in store and have a great day, whatever that may look at.
Yep. So what was happening? What did you see when you were there? You said it was packed, which is
The store was packed.
super encouraging
It was
to
packed.
hear.
They had a meet the critters. So you
Okay.
could meet the critters.
What does that mean?
Well, I think animals outside of the dog and cat realm. Fleetwood was very taken with the ferrets, but I was like, no, we can't get one of those.
Yeah.
No,
They're weird. They run sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most people in my family run sideways, so they might fit right in. I don't know. But they were having in-store adoptions. They were having meet the critters, and they were testing treats. And so they had a lot of, different store activations going on. And, they kind of reached out. It was like your local Winter Park, location is having, these things on these dates, come visit.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, we knew we were going to be talking about this. But like I said, Fleet likes to shop and pick out a couple nice things for himself and his siblings. And so we did. We went and checked it out, and it was fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, and everybody there was a pet parent of somebody. And so it was just, it was really good, but it was interesting. All the display signage that they use, how they're even using display signage and integrating that with technology to drive more personalized experiences. So coming full circle around to our hyper-personalization conversation.
Yes.
Fleet's trying to get that to be hyper pet personalization because he really wants to hype pets and what's the best way to do that. So, but just looking at what we've talked about and what we've seen in our other industries that we work with, and then really how they're really honing that messaging and making it very pet centric, very personal, and how there is a bigger lift for pet personalization than there almost is for people personalization. Now I can speak to that of myself.
Yes.
But, it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a question for you. So again, it's so fun because we've talked about all of these things, but again, me coming back to direct mail, of course,
Yes.
I immediately think of the huge opportunity that's there for whether it's retail brands or pet insurance or whatever the industry and market is, for that industry to go personalized, but pet personalized.
Pet personalized.
It would be interesting to understand what the statistics are about response rates, because we see it increase whenever we're doing a digital plus direct mail from a personalized to you and I.
Right.
But I can only imagine what the lift is when it's personalized to your pet and that emotional connection that you have to it. So my question for you is, are you seeing brands that you engage with on a regular basis for the boys and girls, are they starting to personalize to you via direct mail or otherwise?
I've seen it probably more in the healthcare
Okay.
space.
But not so much in the retail space.
Not yet. Or maybe that's just to our address.
Okay, retailers, listen here.
Yeah, right.
Here's an opportunity.
She'll buy anything you put an Airedale on. So, there's a huge opportunity for that.
Yeah.
I see it a lot in the healthcare space. I mean, obviously, pet insurance, big topic of conversation. And there's a lot more brands and a lot more companies offering pet insurance than they have in the past. So that's definitely been something that has, I think, exploded onto the scene.
Yep.
So I've seen it there, and kind of like in the healthcare space.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see the retail space start to go there. I think there's a huge opportunity if I think about the loyalty programs that they have, and many times you're posting a picture of Fleetwood.
Oh, yeah.
And their birth date and all these things whenever you're signing up for whether it's the veterinary services or the grooming services or whatever offered at these places. So to incorporate that into, like, if I think about a direct mail opportunity for loyalty programs to do, come in for a birthday and have a picture of Fleetwood. A birthday party. Yep. So again, those experiences that are happening. So I think there's a huge opportunity there if you're not seeing it happen.
Well, like I said, I haven't seen it yet. That doesn't mean that it's not happening, but I haven't seen it in the retail space. Okay. I have seen a lot on the digital side
Right.
in the retail space,
Okay.
which is kind of like a reminder, like, you know, are you out of dog food? Are you out of this? But I think that there's a huge opportunity to take that to another level. Um, so when we were talking hyper personalization, and I think hyper personalization has actually evolved even more since we had our glimpse event, and that was only like 6 weeks ago,
Right.
because it's now gone from like digital personalization to digital combined with like a direct mail personalization and how that can look. And then now taking it to creating in-store experiences through in-store signage combined with technology. So you've got in-store signage, and there's a lot of in-store signage in stores. Everything from dog food brands to actually whatever brand you're shopping in. So there's a huge opportunity. And then the use of QR codes. So you could have a personalized shopping experience based on, you know, having the app, having, you know, them understanding. I mean, they know what you buy. So if you put a picture to it, it's like, hey, welcome Fleetwood, aisle 7. Take your mom to aisle 7. You're out of treats. But there's a whole different way, I think, to incorporate digital that they're looking to do. So when you do go in store, it is an experience that wants people to come in and drive traffic that way.
Yeah. I think the other opportunity there from a hyper personalization, we talked about this a little bit when a Patsy was on.
Yes.
We were talking about Arteza and how they were making it personalized to the city with the various artwork. But I think there's a huge opportunity in this space to also localize what's happening in store. So whether it's your local charity or adoption center, or even if there's local brands that are making pet foods or treats and toys or whatever it is, to be able to really customize that by location.
And I think that's always important. You know, I mean, on a side note, we see that a lot in dining, right? So you've got major national chains, and the first thing they want to do is be able to be relevant locally.
Right.
So I want to be relevant in my local market with, you know, my guests there or my consumer. So I definitely see that. And I think local marketing, especially with pets, really helps drive traffic. I know that I've done it before. This was several years ago, but it was a national chain, and they were doing kind of localized marketing and localized events. This won't surprise anybody who knows me, but they were having like dog painting. So where you were like a kid and you like used your hand to make a turkey or whatnot, you know, you like the print. Same thing. So you made paw prints. So, you know, you went in with your dog and they had washable, you know, ink.
I mean, dare I say you made a portrait?
We made a portrait. And of course, you know, I had to make more than one portrait based on all the paws.
Or however many paws you have.
But that's kind of like, you know, a fun, different kind of thing to do. So I think localized marketing, the personalization, I think those are really all avenues. I mean, the pet industry is exploding as it is. I feel like it's one of our more recession-proof, it is in my house at least, you know, industries. And also back to your earlier opening remarks, it touches every industry that we do business with. And I know I'm being a little repetitive, but when we started talking about it, it was like, wow, this is an industry that touches like everything we do.
Right. I mean, you talked about the travel industry, in which we also do a lot of personalized communications for the travel industry. But if you think about the brands and how they're trying to incorporate now the extensions of our family into that, another huge opportunity to market. Like we also talked about this in dining.
Right. Yeah.
Like we'll specifically search online for pet friendly restaurants that we want to take our pets to for brunch on Saturdays or Sundays.
He's big on that also.
He likes a brunch moment too.
He likes a brunch moment. He's passed out at the moment, but he likes a good brunch moment.
Yeah, but whether it's, to your point, you traveled across the country with them, like you're searching for hotels and restaurants and things where you can have that pet friendly environment. And so for those brands to know to market and even do, you know, co-branded opportunities, I think there's a big opportunity there.
I've always felt that way. I've always felt that if you were able to cross-brand like hotels with a dog food company or a treat company, so when you check in and your pet's there, not only do they know your pet's name, but Fleetwood has a bag of treats that have been provided. So I think there's a huge opportunity for certain industries to co-brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it could be treats, it could be even like leash collars, toys. I mean, it's a huge opportunity. Even like the little travel dog size food bags, like sample size bags. Just to kind of, get different names out there. And you're really not competing, right, against each other, but you have a big stake in the pet market. And so I think anything that you can do to really drive experience, and especially for Fleet and his fluffy friends, I think that really drives brand loyalty, which is where, most marketers are trying to get to. We want in-store traffic, we want repeat traffic, we want you to be a loyal guest. So how can we be loyal so we have that kind of partnership,
Right.
with our consumers and their pets?
Yeah. I'm going totally off track here to a degree.
You're getting a puppy?
Oh my God.
Well, you said off track. I didn't know how far we were going.
Well, that would be taking me way off track.
All right.
But I did say it this morning. I'm like, Fleet's making me want to, go have a pet adoption moment, which is not the smartest idea for me right now. As much travel as we're all doing. But no, what I was thinking is you were talking about the mini food packages. So packaging has become a huge part of our industry.
Yes.
As well. But again, from a localization, co-branding, I mean, there's opportunities now for these companies to do these short run personalized moments with the technology that we have. So it'd be interesting to see what also happens in the packaging space for the pet industry with the capabilities that are out there.
Well, especially with some of the digital capabilities, if you're able to your point, do short runs, and then is it like a welcome, like when you go on a cruise ship, and you have your kind of like your itinerary and all things around you that you can do, and bring that into the travel, pet space.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a ton of opportunities. I'm thinking through, we talked about the Gen Z moments and how they're all about the experience. And so we've talked about a bunch of those in just a few minutes that we've been sitting here talking about. But we also are going to be talking content on an upcoming episode of Colorbar, and which is a little bit overwhelming. We'll talk about that in another episode. But
how to manage content and survive and come out alive on the other side.
Exactly.
Or
but
maybe that's just for me.
But I also think about the user generated content, and I talked about the pet influencers.
Yes.
But I also think that there's a really big opportunity there, going back to in-store, setting up those Instagrammable moments in store. So if we think about a signage opportunity and localization, but having those Instagram moments where you can start to generate some of that user-generated content, I think is another
for
big
yourself. And it's a great avenue for brands to have, I'll call them brand ambassadors, for lack of a better term.
Petfluencers.
Petfluencers, like, your pet or you and your pet. So you've got petfluencers or brand ambassadors that, had an experience that they're sharing. And then that really, then you start telling stories, which everybody likes a good story.
Right.
And, and how that generates, loyalty and, bringing you back.
Yep.
For building traffic.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
And it's a fun space to do it in.
Well, yeah. I mean, we
that's
all,
right. Like,
who doesn't love to post about
their pets?
Post about our pets. And
that's the one thing I can post about, Betsy. I mean, if we go through my post history on our content segment, my insight is going to be limited.
I mean, your LinkedIn, most of the time, was it Walk Talk? Walk Talk, yeah.
Yes.
And so Fleetwood and the dogs have cameos a lot. I mean, my God, we started an email address for Fleetwood at Sandy.
That's right. He is Fleetwood at sandyalexander.com.
Yes.
Well, his sister was a show dog. So he's very big on his career. So Fleetwood is a sales dog.
Yes.
So he's very focused on trying to be a brand ambassador for Sandy Alexander in this space.
I love it.
And bringing some new ideas to
for all those pet brands out there that want to work with us, we'll bring Fleet. We'll
Fleet.
bring Fleet on site.
Fleet can come.
He'll be our sales representative for everybody.
He is.
Well, good. Well,
No, but I think this is a fun space. I think the fact that there's so many different ways to be creative. I mean, it's fun, it's creative, you know, people love their pets. It's just a kind of it's enjoyable. And I think that really resonates. And I think when you can combine all of these different technologies and marketing strategies and then just laying on people's passions and, you know, I think you really have a powerful message that will resonate with consumers and their pets. And I think that's pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's exciting just to sit here and have the conversation because I think of all the different ways that we can engage with these brands.
Yes.
And utilize all the things that we've talked about, from hyper-personalization to in-store marketing to omni-channel approach, using direct mail to increase lift, packaging. I mean, we've talked about a multitude of things that our industry can touch in support of what they're trying to do in the pet market. So it's really fun to think about.
No, it is super fun to think about.
All the different things.
It's all the different things.
Fleetwood?
Fleet, you've done exceptionally well. That dog training has paid off. Don't know how long it will last, but he's good for right now.
Well, it's really fun. He'll have to come back.
Yes, we would love to have him come back. We would love for him to be a repeat guest. Most definitely. But
right.
yes.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you too. We will see you again on an upcoming episode.
Absolutely.
Fleetwood, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye.
Okay.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.
All right. Say thank you.